6:10, Tuesday, March 30th. I'm gonna head to the store to get some supplies for tomorrow morning.
Where's the purple windows? Oh, they do.
Alright, so it's currently 11:02 on March 28th, and about an hour ago I got done watching Godzilla 2014 for the first time in about 2 years. Last time I watched it was before King of the Monsters. And I gotta say, just prepping up for GVK, and I gotta say, I really liked it. 2014 came out a few months before I turned 11, and when I went to go see it in theaters, like, it blew my mind because it was like the biggest movie I had seen ever. And it was the first like Godzilla movie I had seen, the first new one I had seen. I hadn't really I didn't understand the concept of like retiring a character for a certain amount of years or whatever, like what Toho did. I didn't understand that Toho was like, we're done. Obviously they weren't done, but I didn't understand the break between Final Wars and 2014. And so when I saw it, I was like, I loved it, and I still love it. So obviously, me being at the time 10, I don't really remember much of the movie, seeing it for the first time in theaters. But this is, along with like Endgame and Infinity War, and King of the Monsters 2, 2019. This is one of those movies that I would give anything to see again for the first time, to experience, Godzilla roaring for the first time, the airport scene, the kiss of death. I would do anything to watch this movie again for the first time. So I really love the movie. This is one of those movies that has aged really, really well. There's a period of time where movies looked so impeccable. A lot of them were disaster movies, like Roland Emmerich movies. What was San Andreas, Pacific Rim? That was much more stylized, but still looked really good. In 2014, I think this is one of the last movies before visual effects really got gamey, like video gamey. With the biggest example I can think of is Pacific Rim Uprising and Rampage. They both look so PS4-ish. It's it seems like at the end of a trailer for Uprising there should be like the PlayStation logo at the end, but luckily we're getting out of that with Godzilla vs Kong. It looks to be really amazing. But man, 2014 is it's one of the like more nostalgic movies I have, because it's like the first Godzilla movie I saw in theaters, and it's easily it's one of my favorites. I rank it probably, for me personally, it's probably Final Wars 54, Biolante, or Final Wars 54, Destroya, Biolante, then 2014. So it's number 5 for me. I really love this movie. Tomorrow I'll be watching Skull Island. I'll be sitting here again, and then yeah. 2014, I have to say, that was probably my favorite of the Monsterverse movies so far. Originally, you know, before watching the movie, I would have said King of the Monsters, but now it's 2014. Alright, 10:40, night before GVK, and I gotta move this chair downstairs. It's a bit of an operation, but got it up here, can bring it down. Oh, there we go. Chair successfully down, ready for the viewing for tomorrow. But That's not the best part. We got some good ass catering here, let me tell you. We got that purple Doritos, best chips on the market. Then we also got some Barks root beer. None of that A&W or mug crap. Let me tell you, that's what jabronis drink. And let me tell you something else. I'm many things, but I am not a jabroni. So I just got done watching 2017's Kong Skull Island, and I gotta say, this time, I really enjoyed the movie. I've always enjoyed the movie. It's just, it's not the first option I would pick for a monster movie, to be completely honest. But this viewing, I don't know what it was. I really enjoyed it. It might just be because I'm thinking about the movie more critically, but I I really enjoyed it. I definitely think it's got some of the best characters. I think it has the best characters. Aside from Bryan Cranston for 2014, I think in terms of the characters, it's fairly strong. Samuel L. Jackson's easily the strongest character. He has the strongest character motivation, and just like character development. You understand what he's doing and why he's doing it. I can't watch the. Yeah. This is my cat. His name is Egon from Ghostbusters. Ugh, where was I? Oh yeah, the characters. So really, Samuel Jackson, in terms of the characters, is really the main focus of the movie. He's the main villain. There is the skull crawlers, which I'll talk about later, but Samuel L. Jackson is easily the best character in this movie. He's probably the second best character in the Monsterverse so far. So yeah, in terms of the humans, really strong. I do think they wasted Tom Hiddleston and John Goodman's character. I think if they were in a different movie, or at least set in a different time period, they could have been really instrumental in future movies. But oh well. In terms of the skull crawlers, I like the skull crawlers. I know they're based off that like two-legged lizard that Jack Driscoll cuts the vine on in 33 in the original movie. So that little bit of trivia is pretty cool. Yeah, they're just kind of like the blank slate. They're the Mutos of this movie. They're the blank slate villain monster that Kong has to kill, which they get the job done. Kong is really great. It's probably it's definitely the most human. Obviously, he's upright. He's not a quadruped like in the Peter Jackson movie, or it's like the 33 movie to an extent, although he was bipedal in that movie quite a bit. But this one is easily the most human and the most relatable, and I think probably the best retelling of the Kong story. That is, and this movie is also it's not a remake of the original, which every single Kong movie is, or a sequel of a remake. So, yeah, this movie's really strong. My only gripe with it is that there seems to be a quantity issue because when you see the helicopters lift off the transport boat, there's only like 5 helicopters, but then Kong destroys like 24 helicopters, and it's kind of a quantity issue that I don't that is a it's a bit of a continuity error, and it's kind of like, oh, why, how did giant canisters of gasoline or whatever, butane or whatever it is, how did all of those like highly explosive materials survive like highly flammable, like really explosion-y fires, I guess. I don't know. I also like, it just kind of feels like there's like a dozen main people that you can recognize, but then it feels like there's an infinite amount of just like red shirts. Star Trek reference. There's an infinite amount of red shirts that are there to be killed or eaten or both. So that's really my only gripe. Oh, and Kong, when he finds the propeller, like that's the first time he ever sees a propeller probably. And he's like, oh, I can use this like Scorpion does in Mortal Kombat.
over here! Come here!
But I mean, that's basically what he does. He basically does the get over here. But yeah, I really like this movie. I before seeing this, I considered it to be my least favorite of the Monsterverse out of the three. It was, until yesterday, it was King of the Monsters 2014 Skull Island. Now it's 2014 King of the Monsters Skull Island. Or I don't know. After I see King of the Monsters tomorrow, I'll see what it is. But yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. This movie, I also remember talking about this movie with my eighth grade science teacher. He was a big Kong fan, but yeah, he died of cancer a few years later. But that personal connection makes this movie really special because I was able to like just talk King Kong with my teacher, and yeah, it's a special movie in that case. So I really like this movie, and man, I don't know what else to say. I'm gonna be waking up at about 5 o'clock, 5:30 in the morning to watch this. I don't have school until, or classes that for me at least don't start until 11:20. So it's under 2 hours from 6 to 8. I could watch it again if I wanted to, but I'm not because I want to pace myself. I don't want it to spoil it. Maybe I could eventually get vaccinated. I could see this in theaters. I want that to be an experience. I want that to probably be the second time I see the movie. But we'll see. Wow, what a ride. It's in less than 12 hours. I will be actually like 8 hours I'll be watching I'll be watching Godzilla vs. Kong. Anyway, it's currently 10:30, March 30th, and I just got done watching Godzilla King of the Monsters 2019, and I gotta say, man, a lot of the people I talk to, a lot of my friends don't like this movie, but fuck it, I love this movie, man. I hate pulling out the card of, oh, what do you expect from a movie called Godzilla King of the Monsters? But really, what do you expect from a movie called Godzilla King of the Monsters that has Godzilla, Rodan, Mothra, and King Ghidorah? I mean, you see this argument with Godzilla vs. Kong right now, where it's like, oh, it's Godzilla versus Kong. What the fuck do you expect with them having shitty human characters? What the fuck? Why can't we say this about King of the Monsters? But, whatever. I mean, to be fair, this movie doesn't really have the best writing. There's a lot of really, like, Marvel-y jokes that don't really land. The most noticeable one is the gonorrhea joke that whatever his name is makes when they first name Ghidorah, or the line where Kyle Chandler says he's either there for food, a fight, or something more intimate. People lost their fucking shit over those lines, but it's like, it's just a stupid sex joke and a stupid STD joke. Stop losing your fucking shit. GMK has an even worse message behind it that people don't look at. But that's beside the point. So I can overlook the bad writing. The Godzilla movies are plagued with bad writing. I'm not saying that every Godzilla movie should be excused for having bad writing. I'm just saying I'm not surprised that it had bad writing. But in terms of the monster actions, I got what I wanted. I know a lot of people complain that it cuts away too much, but I think it's fine. I mean, there are a couple scenes where it is a bit claustrophobic, specifically when Ghidorah attacks the osprey in the Antarctica, and really any time that it's looking out of a plane. To be honest, that's when it's the most claustrophobic. Otherwise, I think it's really well done, considering the limitations that they had, especially for the motion capture and just the idea and just bringing to life a three-headed dragon without any arms and only has wings. I mean, they did it with the suits, which back in the Toho movies, but this is a different beast. Speaking of the monsters, the designs I think are really awesome. Godzilla's redesign is great. Mothra's, Ghidorah's and Rodan's designs are amazing. I think they're probably my favorites for both of them. Mothra's it took me a little bit longer to warm up on, but I really enjoyed the movie. I really like this movie a lot. It's not a guilty pleasure. I don't feel guilty about liking any movie. So I don't consider it a guilty pleasure, and I will die on this hill that I think people overreacted a little bit when it comes to this movie, and the lack of and the quality and the lack of quality. So that's just my 2 cents. I really love this movie. I keep saying that, but I just can't really. I can't. It's very much of it's very much of a spectacle movie. Like you don't really go in to see a complex characters. You don't go in to see The Godfather. You go in to see giant monsters, and whether or not you get that is subjective. And whether or not you're satisfied with that is subjective. But I went in with that expectation, and I got what I wanted. So I'm really enjoy this movie, and the clock is ticking on Godzilla vs Kong. Yeah. Alright, I gotta be quiet here. Alright, this is gonna be a bit ASMR-y. Because it's early, it's 5:50. So it's about 10 minutes before I see Godzilla vs. Kong. And I'm really excited. I'm Team Godzilla. Got my Famous Monsters shirt. It's 2014. It's a really good shirt. I like it. But I'm Team Godzilla. I'm expecting a good time. I've heard that there are several uncut minutes of monster action where there's no cutaways, it's just monster action. Like all the good old days. I can get down with that. So to be over dramatic, I wake up today a boy with only about 4.5 hours of sleep, and I'll go to class a man having seen Godzilla vs. Kong. It's so stupid. Godzilla vs. Kong, man. Let me tell you. It wasn't exactly what I was expecting, I'll tell you that much. Did I like it? Yes, I did like it. Do I think I would have liked it more if I had seen it in theaters? Absolutely. There are several aspects of this movie. Sorry, I'm messing with my hair. It's getting in my face. There are several aspects of this movie that are meant for a theater. Obviously, the visual effects and the fights, those are meant to be seen on a big screen, but also this movie, in a similar way to King of the Monsters, emphasizes heartbeats and like low frequency rumbling, and that would be really good in a movie theater with like surround sounds and like IMAX speakers and stuff like that. So this movie is meant to be seen on the big screen. Unfortunately, I'm not vaccinated. I am in a eligible age range to now get vaccinated, but priorities and elderly people get priority. But hopefully, if I do get vaccinated and it's still in theaters, I will go see it. But yeah, I really can't go into much detail about the movie without going into spoilers because so much of it relies on spoilers. One thing that I was kind of expecting, but was a bit let down with this. I thought the aircraft carrier fight was going to be 20 minutes or like 18 minutes or something like that. It's not 18 minutes. Really, what they meant is that Kong is on the transport that transport ship for 18 minutes. Godzilla and Kong don't fight in the water or in the ocean for very long, at least not 18 minutes. So yeah, there's like a couple Mortal Kombat style things that happens. It's really awesome. Man, it's really really awesome. You know, I have plenty of time to watch it again if I so desire, but I'm gonna wait a little bit before I watch it again. And yeah, I don't really know what else to say because a lot of what I have to say involves spoilers, and I want to keep this spoiler free. So, would I recommend it? Yes. Would I recommend you see it in theaters? Yes, if possible and if safe, and if you feel comfortable with it. Um, and yeah, it's a really good movie. I think it's definitely up there in the fun factor. You know, don't go into this like Chris Stuckman said. Don't go into this expecting to analyze the intriguing characterizations and the intricate cinematography. No, don't do that. Well, the cinematography is really good, but you know, don't go into this movie expecting The Godfather. You know, that's I think that's what a lot of people thought with King of the Monsters. They were expecting like this Godfather level monster movie when really they shouldn't have. But yeah, recommend yes. I don't know how this would rank in my Monsterverse or Godzilla movie list, but I that would have to be determined after another viewing or two. It's finally here. I think there's one more Godzilla Monsterverse movie happening. I think it's called Destroy All Monsters or something. I don't know when that's coming out. I don't even know if it started filming. But I'm excited. Well, as excited as I can be for an unannounced movie, unofficially announced movie. So, damn man, we're here. We're here. Godzilla vs Kong. It's here. It's so weird to say that.
That's crispy.